It's a new year and a new chance for you to make a fresh start with your compliance. For the next 31 days on the FCPA Compliance Report, we're going to be bringing you a daily tip, strategy, or idea that you can use to improve your program. Here's your host, Tom Fox, the Compliance Evangelist.
This month's sponsor of 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program is Affiliated Monitors. Founded in 2004, Affiliated Monitors provides professional, independent, integrity monitoring and ethics and compliance assessments nationally and internationally and across almost all industries. With its knowledge of effective ethics and compliance programs and cultures, Affiliated Monitors is respected for its work as the corporate monitor on matters ranging from multinational corporations to small and mid-sized companies and even individuals. Having served in over 750 monitorships, no one has more experience as an independent monitor than the team at Affiliated Monitors. For more information on how an independent monitor can help improve your company's ethics and compliance program, visit this month's sponsor, Affiliated Monitors, at www.affiliatedmonitors.com. Taming complexity in compliance. One of the lessons that we have learned from various FCPA enforcement actions over the years is how complexity in business organizations can work to defeat compliance programs. Whether a corrupt employee is working actively to hide a pot of money which can or will be used to pay a bribe, or an improper payment simply slips through the cracks, complexity can work to defeat a best practices compliance program. If a compliance program does not have visibility into a business unit, how it does business, and where its payments are going, it may be due to designed or inadvertent complexity. The first thing to understand about complexity is that it is not a bad thing. Complexity can add to organizational resilience and even flexibility. It can lead to adaptability, as sustained business and compliance performance requires new offerings and capabilities, which can be created by recombining existing elements in fresh ways. Finally, complexity can lead to better coordination by business units across geographic regions and product lines. The bottom line is that complexity is not only here to stay, but in the increasing global world of business, it is a necessity. How is the compliance professional going to deal with it going forward? A company should begin using simple, common operating principles. This increases the chances that new elements and connections will fit comfortably into an organization and also contain complexity. One way to do so is to run your business on foundational principles, specifically including transparency. If you move towards both transparency in all of your processes and protocols and in the human element, so that personnel do not hide information, it can work to reduce complexity or at least makes the complex less opaque. Perhaps counterintuitively is relaxing controls. While this may actually sound antithetical to the compliance professional, a deeper analysis reveals that this is actually the operationalization of compliance. Instead of micromanaging each compliance decision, allowing employees the freedom to engage in constant iterative experimentation can lead to more powerful compliance outcomes than deliberately designing and tightly managing each step. This is particularly true in organizations where environments are evolving in unpredictable and unprecedented ways. The operationalization comes from the emergence of innovations. The more that autonomous small teams and even individual employees are experimenting with new elements and connections, the more options they create for the organization, as long as the innovations are properly codified and are made available to all teams and groups. A great example of this was the Geo-Regional Compliance Committee. However, the critical element is that employees are required to document and report their recommendations and predict outcomes. From this point, the compliance function can serve as an enabler and sounding board for experimenters, incorporating their ideas simply than dictating it to them. The next step will be familiar to compliance professional, which is to fix, repair, and prune. This step is closely akin to prevent, detect, and remediate. And it also prevents views not normally used by compliance professionals. It adds robustness to a mature compliance program. It can work to create a culture that encourages employees to look out for and eliminate obsolete processes. Of course, this requires a true speak-up culture and a fully functioning reporting system. If you have this, it will increase both the quality and quantity of innovation. Conversely, if you fail to do so, you might well reach the point where no one has a complete understanding of your business processes. In other words, things will be too complex. While it is true that complexity in an organization can accumulate until it is intractable and hard to reduce through incremental action, if your organization is in that situation, you will need to develop another set of processes to unstick the complexity and recycle resources to reduce the overall complexity. One of the ways of achieving this is to establish new structures with a finite time horizon, identifying exit strategies in advance. By building in exit options at the beginning rather than subjecting legacy elements to endless modifications, leaders can avoid the accumulation of excessive complexity. Most companies say they believe in simplicity over complexity, but the truth is complexity is increasingly necessary for a viable and competitiveness in today's dynamic and unpredictable business environment. I would say this is even more true for the compliance function. As compliance moves into the 2020s and beyond, it's a great decade of innovation and change in front of us. Compliance is no longer lawyer-driven rules and regulations. Compliance is now properly seen as a business process and properly recognized, not simply as a business innovator, but also as a profit center. Compliance is now in an era of brisk innovation and evolution. It is prone to technological change and rapid obsolescence of the lawyer-driven spreadsheet and Word document-based compliance program. Going forward, the compliance professional needs to understand that a package of resilience, adaptability, coordination, and intimate has become more attractive. The key is to learn how to harness complexity on a sustainable basis. So what are the 3 key takeaways for today? If a business is too complex for a compliance practitioner to understand, it is in more danger of illegal activity or through inadvertence, violating laws such as the FCPA. 2, it all starts with simple operating principles and procedures. And 3, always remember, fix, repair, and prune going forward so that your compliance processes do not become intractable and other solutions are therefore required. I hope you will enjoy the entire month on innovation and compliance in this month's offering of 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program. If I could ask you to do so, would you pass on to at least one person this podcast series on the nuts and bolts of compliance, as I'm trying to expand my audience base for 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow, where I take up another topic in innovation and compliance. Thanks again for listening. 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.